Time to play the game. Time to play the game.
Come on, guys. The shoes are wrapped in plastic. You didn't think I was still going to do this, did you?
It's all about the game and how you play it. All about control and if you can take it.
What's up, everybody? It's Joe from Complex. We're in Stamford, Connecticut at Lace Streams with the CCO and WWE Hall of Famer Triple H. How you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
We're gonna do some sneaker shopping today. See what he's feeling, what he's not, and then hopefully he's gonna buy some sneakers.
Hopefully.
Let's go. Triple H, I want to take it all the way back. Two-sport athlete coming up, baseball, basketball. Do you remember even back then what shoes you were wearing to play basketball in?
I'm old.
Okay.
Dude. So, like, for me, the cloth All-Stars were where it was started. I'm old enough to remember sort of where the all-leather high tops.
Probably like
started.
the pro leather, like Larry Bird era, Magic Johnson even?
Larry Bird was the, where I grew up, Nashua, New Hampshire, right? The Celtics were the thing.
Yeah.
And I grew up in a great era, so going to watch Bird and Robert Parrish and McHale and all those guys was a magical time. Those were the shoes. Though for me, when it came down to it, my mom was pretty smart, looked at me and like, you kind of suck at basketball. The $100 shoes aren't going to make you any better at basketball, so just stick with whatever you can get for 30.
And it was probably like Converses.
It probably was.
And I love that you pulled up in sneakers. There's even Reddit threads, we haven't seen Triple H wear sneakers in a while because you're always in suits and stuff like that. But special occasion, I love that you wore the Blazers.
Yeah, look, my kids got me these, so I was hoping when I walked in here you would think they were cool.
Awesome.
Because I don't know. Look, I'm in suits 90% of the time just for work-wise. And the sneaker culture has hit that world as well.
Yes.
Like the business. It's just a tougher transition for us to go from suit and dress shoes to a suit with sneakers on, but that's the thing now. So I gotta up my game.
Absolutely. You said that early basketball, you were into the first iterations of Chuck Taylors, but flexing Intercontinental Champion 2000 photo shoot, you're wearing these Nike. Do you remember this photo at all?
I remember the photo.
Okay.
I don't remember the shoes.
Okay.
And my guess is at that time in my life, someone gave me those.
Okay.
I probably did a shoot somewhere, or I probably did something where they gave me the sneakers. At that time in my life, that's early 2000s, we were running.
Yes.
That's a 300-day-a-year road schedule, different city every day, right? For the most part, we were looking for the all-purpose, do anything.
Yes.
That's why the high-techs, the boots at the times, the sneaker boots were a big thing for all of us, just because it didn't matter if it was snowing.
Mm-hmm.
You might be in a town one day it's snowing, the next day it's 90. You've got to do a run-in them on TV.
Function, yes.
It's function, yeah, and really that was where it was at. It was shortly after that guys really started to get into the fashion of the shoes, when now it's transitioned.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Another classic photo. We had Stone Cold on around 2 years ago. It was a grail get for us, you as well. Rocking the Chuck Taylors with Stone Cold WWE magazine.
Yeah, there you go. And so here's the thing on that. This is a convenience. Why am I wearing Chuck Taylors? Because they lay flat in your bag and take less room in your suitcase.
Okay, and that was probably when you were on the road 300 days.
Absolutely.
Okay, so easy condensable sneakers.
Yeah, it boggles my mind sometimes when I see guys that have been on the road for a couple of weeks, and I'll see them 2 or 3 times in a time that they're gone, and I see them in different shoes every time, and I'm like, what do you have, a suitcase that you drag with you for your sneakers?
Yeah,
and they're yeah, I do.
Yeah.
They have a bag that's pretty much just shoes.
Crazy. Getting to current day wrestling, Complex did a post recently about how Jordan took over Monday night. CM Punk bought his first pair of Jordans on this show. Then you have Dominic Mysterio, Kofi Kingston, Roman Reigns. What do you think about those two worlds colliding and coming from a traditional wrestling background and now seeing so many wrestlers coming out in Jordans and sneakers? What do you think about that?
Look, I love it.
Yeah.
If you're the youth of the world that is watching this show, how do you connect with are superstars, and that's just another connection point that makes them cool and puts them on another plane of being a superstar. And it's funny that we have talent now that will come up to me at TV and ask, like, hey, I got this run in later. Are you cool if I go in my street clothes? I got these new Jordans or whatever.
Wow, they want to flex.
Yeah, I just got these, and I want to run in and
do you sign off mostly?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. And now, like, I'm old school. I'm traditional. Like, I like wrestling boots, right? But they've transitioned now to a lot of guys like wearing sneakers in the ring. They like the comfort of it, but they also like, as you point, they like that flex of it, like to be able to go out there and have that athletic ability, but have them in something that is that stylish. And it's a big thing in the locker room, too.
Yeah.
Believe me.
Competitive.
Dude, the competitive nature.
Do you walk by and you're sometimes like enough, or like you like to see it?
No, I don't even know what they're talking about.
Okay.
But they're all like, I hear them talking like, do you see Roman's shoes?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? You see this, or, somebody will walk up to Gorilla right before they walk through the curtain, and I'll see them all walk over like, oh man, and just go straight to the shoes. It's not just a flex on TV.
Backstage too.
It's a flex in the locker room.
You do have some history. The Cena pump era. Do you remember the Reebok pump era, early 2000s? He was rocking those, but I found this. I love this.
Well, excuse me if I'm not afraid of the guy whose one big move is pumping up his Reeboks.
Do you remember that promo at all, or like at least his era?
I don't know what the fuck I was thinking with my hair. Yeah.
But the era of Cena pumps was a big era of wrestling and
him
sneakers.
stomping and pumping up his shoes was like a huge thing, right?
Yeah.
And at the time, there was some of us in that era where, like, look, Austin wore what he wore. Like, when you would see Austin and he had the jorts before Cena did, right? With the jorts and the knee braces.
Yes.
Just because of what he wore to the building that day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Just came game ready.
It was, yeah.
A couple weeks ago, big moment on Raw. We see Travis Scott, Reggie from Jordan, Neil, all walking like into the arena. His shoes break records. We talked about it kind of off camera.
Always.
What do you think about Travis's cultural impact? And like, even then, these the sixes and the ones, breaks records on Nike sneakers apps, and like having him there. What do you think about like the crossover of that audience and the way he can move product?
Look, it's massive. When you have somebody at his level that can say, hey, this is cool. And then it's the biggest thing that there is in some way. And I've heard them say it, so I'm not saying anything that I made up, but like in a way, he might be more important to the brand than Michael is right now.
Just because he's moving units and he's like active.
And what's cool, the thing about him, his ear's on the ground at all times, right? So it's not a, hey, I think kids will like this. It's not a, hey, I think this will work. It's like, that'll work. This will work. Like, I know what they want.
Absolutely.
And I think that's a cool place, because in today's world, if it's not authentic, you can't make it work.
Totally. And, have you had meetings with Reggie? Reggie's the guy, like, there's so many, Roman we see, there's so many wrestlers that are over. Do you think it's time for a wrestler to have like a signature Jordan deal or what?
I do.
Okay.
It's funny, I've thought it for a long time. When you look at our world, much like what Travis is doing, that's bigger, obviously, and how you can affect that culture. But I think that our performers affect that culture just as much as well. When you hear, if you go to a game, in almost any sport, you'll hear our entrance themes playing in that stadium or that arena, right? Like, you'll hear the sayings and the chants and the catchphrases that our talent use. You can't go to a game without people wooing like Flair, or I see athletes doing the Roman Reigns one all the time. I think the Yeet thing that Jay has now brought back, it all affects culture in a big way. And I think if somebody doesn't do the signature line with some of our talent, a Cody Rhodes, a Jey Uso, a Roman Reigns, I think they're missing the boat on something that can be very impactful towards their business.
Absolutely. Another thing we got to talk about, Bad Bunny, another huge star. I love, I think 3 years ago in March, he debuted one of his new Adidas collaborations on Raw, which is amazing. Someone that big using Raw to debut. It was a backstage photo. It wasn't like anything that was so zoomed in on the sneakers, but just subtle, and all the blogs picked it up. But
blew up.
yeah, what do you think about him debuting the sneakers on Raw?
I love it.
Yeah.
Name the bigger platform.
Right.
Right? Like it used to be 25 years ago, somebody might go on like the Tonight Show with a cool pair of shoes on.
Yes, they always used to do that.
And people would lose their mind. Now, who watches the Tonight Show? No offense, right? But like, what is that place where a celebrity can come and get buzz?
Yeah.
Where can they go promote their whatever they're doing, whether it's a film, whether it's something else, they can come on in our world, and the amount of eyeballs that they get on them, not just in the programming, but digital and social, right? Where we just got I think the 10th ever 100.
Saw that YouTube subscription. Yeah. Got to talk about your legacy. You think back to the days of Pheasant Lane Mall.
Yeah,
New Hampshire.
Mall, yeah. Done your research.
The DX legacy, though, this vintage tee, it had like a whole afterlife vintage tees, super rare. This is like $200 I had to get like overnighted from Texas. But what do you think about when you see kind of like the aftermarket of like memorabilia, DX? When I had Stone Cold, I talked about like the 316 shirts. But how awesome is it to see something like that and like this live on?
It's crazy. People talk all the time about the Attitude Era. We didn't realize that's what it was at the time. It was just Thursday or whatever day it was. You were just doing what you did. You mentioned Pheasant Lane Mall.
Yeah.
One of the times that it really first hit me of how big we had gotten was, I used to go there all the time. There was a GNC there. I would get home off the road for 18 days or whatever. I'd need to pick up some supplements. I'd go to that GNC at the mall. I'd run in, grab supplements, right? Before I had to leave to go back on the road. And I went to go get supplements, and it was maybe 100 yards off the entrance, pulled in, walked in the door. By the time I walked to the escalator to go down to the next level, I looked back, there was like 200 people following me. And I was like, holy shit. I never even made it to the store. It started to become a mob scene. Security came and like they got me out of there, and people followed me leaving to try to get home. Like I had to drive around for like 45 minutes to lose people to go back to my house. And it was the first time I was like, well, I guess I'm done going to the mall. Right? It was the first time that I realized how big it was getting. But to see that impact 30 years later.
Kids who didn't even watch it wearing the shirts.
I think sometimes that there's kids wearing those shirts that don't even know what it is.
Right. Dropping this week, the episode dropping big week, WrestleMania week. I'm hearing rumblings of surprises. How excited are you for this WrestleMania? A really big one. What can we expect?
Well, it's you just look back and you go 40 years. Right? So 40 years as we roll into this, the business is probably, I can look at it different now. Like what I just said a minute ago, like we didn't know it was the Attitude Era at the time. Having lived through that, I can look at it right now and say we're in another era like that. People won't put a tag on it. Like we didn't call it the Attitude Era in the Attitude Era. You know what I mean? They'll put a tag on it later or whatever it is. But if we can maintain, we're in that same white hot level of, everything sold out, everything we're doing is just clicking. And you see it, Travis Scott wanting to come in. You see it, Bad Bunny wrestling with us. You see it, The Rock coming back. Rock's got a busy schedule. If wrestling's on the down, he ain't coming in. Right? So you see that excitement. WrestleMania 40 will be massive, and we're going to do everything we can to make it the biggest WrestleMania in history.
Can't wait. Well, we talked about everything. Now's the easy part. Browse the shelves. I think you may shop for the fam, and we'll end there.
Awesome, man.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Of course. Thank you, man.
Yeah, we're going to start out with these.
All right, the SB Blazer mids, nice choice.
Thank you very much. We're going to make our way down here. Travis Scott.
Yeah.
Just love my suit game.
There you go.
There we go.
All black.
Here.
Yeah, go with the nice black and white again.
Yeah, I think so.
Cool.
I'll make this easy. I'm going to go for the family right now.
Sounds good.
Here.
All right.
Here.
All right.
My daughter's going to Springfield. We'll go here.
There
We'll
we
go
go.
here. We'll go here.
That's a great
We're
choice.
good.
Perfect.
Got everything you need?
Think so.
A lot of great pickups.
I appreciate it.
The total is going to be $44.7202.
Awesome. Go. And I appreciate you guys. Sneaker shopping is intimidating, right? Like it's a cultural thing. You got to get it right. You guys make it easy. I appreciate that.
It can be, but you did good. the shirts, and then you are all set. There you go.
Amen.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I
You have a
appreciate
great
your
day.
help.
So, Triple H came through, told some great stories, shot for the fam. Thanks so much for taking the time.
I appreciate it, man.
Appreciate you. Make sure everyone checks out WrestleMania 40, live in Philly, live on Peacock, April 6th, April 7th. Don't miss it. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Let me help you with these.
Got a lot. I'm gonna
Yeah.
need a bigger vehicle.